Bernie Sanders lost the primary. We really wanted Bernie Sanders to win the primary. My gosh, we were fiending for that Bernie win. People were out there in force, really trying to make sure Bernie, we thought this was the time, all right? We thought it was the time that we were going to get a big dick socialist president in office to judo chop, just destroy Donald Trump, hit him from all sides on working class issues. We thought it was going to happen. Super Tuesday rolls around. The moderates all drop out. Poof. Bernie Sanders' victory gone overnight. Incredibly disheartening. And ever since then, there was like the Bernie or Bust movement. There have been faces like Jimmy Dore piling up. Lots of doomerism going around when it comes to a whole lot of people who are into progressivism, into socialism, all of these great things, who feel like they have no outlet, who feel like we have no path forward. Because Bernie isn't going to run again. Dude's fucking 80, all right? He's not going to be around for that much longer. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to lay it out for you. If you haven't thought about it, Bernie's not going to be around for much longer. People were looking for an outlet. People were looking for a light in the tunnel, all right? A way out of this wormhole of darkness that we've been spiraled into. They saw nothing that gave them any hope. But let me tell you, all right? This is why we need more lefties to be looking on the ground, all right? Ground level. Bring it down, all right? Bring it all the way down. Stop talking about the presidency. Stop talking about the Senate. Stop talking about the House, all right? Start talking about local politics. That's where power can be wielded. And you know what? The DSA learned that, and the establishment felt it. The entire staff of the Nevada Democratic Party quits after socialist slate win every seat. This isn't a small victory. They didn't knock off a single incumbent. They didn't boot out a single entrenched party member. No, every single seat up for election, every single one, they took. The Democratic Socialists swept the entire Nevada caucus. Remember, Nevada was one of the places where Bernie obliterated the competition. Remember, what did he get? Like 56% of the vote. The next person was like Joe Biden at like what did he get? Like 20, maybe even less than that, like 13, 15%, like 21 maybe. Like Bernie destroyed these people in Nevada. And you know what? They didn't give up. They didn't forget about everything. They didn't drop everything. You know what they did? They kept working. All right. And they brought everything back down to the grassroots level, and they swept. Judith Whitmer won her election on Saturday to become the chair of the Nevada Democratic Party. She got an email from the party's executive director, Alana Mounts. Cringe ass name. Mounts. The message from Mounts began with a note of congratulations before getting to her main point. She was quitting. So was every other employee, and so were all the consultants, and the staff would be taking a severance checks with them. Thank you very much. On March 6th, a coalition of progressive candidates backed by the local chapter of Democratic Socialists of America took over the leadership in Nevada's Democratic Party, sweeping all 5 party leadership positions in a contested election that evening. Whitner, who won the chair of the Clark County Democratic Party, just so you know, Clark County, that's the big county in Nevada. I think Nevada has 2 counties, if I remember correctly. Clark County and literally fucking everywhere else. Clark County is Las Vegas and a little bit of suburbs surrounding Las Vegas. And then everywhere else is just the rest of the state. Because like, what is it? 60-80% of Nevada's population is in Las Vegas, like period. So obviously, basically the Democratic Party of Clark County is more likely than is the de facto party of the state. She was elected the chair. The incumbents had prepared for the loss, having recently moved $450,000 out of the party coffers and the Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee's account. The DSCC will put the money towards the 2022 election bid of Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, a vulnerable first-term Democrat. So these people were so bitter and so sure that their shitty ass moderate politics were going to lose them their seats, that they moved $500,000 out of the party coffers. So when they lost, these people were the socialists in there were left with nothing, well, just about nothing, and then they ran off with the money to go push through their like moderate Dem, Catherine Cortez Masto, first term Democrat, that hopefully the party can now, the new DSA party can now work against and push out for a new, better, more progressive, hopefully a politician that supports something like a $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all, because that's not something Masto does. Yeah, what a piece of, yeah, they're actually really, really bitter, really shitty. Well, Whitmer's opponents say she was planning to fire them anyways. Whitmer denies the claim. I've been putting in the work, Whitmer told The Intercept in the latest episode of Deconstructed. What they just didn't expect is that we got better and better at organizing and out-organizing them at every turn. This is what we were talking about, okay? This is what we mean by actually getting down into grassroots and actually making a change. Lots of power can be had at a very local level. You don't know how much work can be done at a municipal government, at a county government, at a state government. All of that work, lots of the things that are going to touch your life personally come from your state and municipal governments. And that's where we need progressives, socialists to be organizing and spending a lot more time. All right. The country as a whole has to be subservient to places like Montana, like the entire state of Kansas, or other like really heavily Republican states like Idaho, like Alabama, like West Virginia. Lots of these places, they have to be beholden to them, because at a country level, you're representing everyone there. At a state level, you can knock on doors, you can talk to people, you can get people activated, you can do over and over and over again to get people activated in this political process. You can talk to your neighbors, you see them all the time, you can get them organized. That's how socialism was really supposed to work, like person to person, sort of on the ground, sort of mobilization from the working class, from the grassroots people, from the proletariat. That's how that's supposed to work. Not these like big overture movements, sort of lurching of the massive political machine. It's decrepit, it's disgusting. The political machine, it's not meant to move in broad swaths. On a more local level, you can affect so much change. And the DSA there, they were able to get so much done. As you can see, what they were working against was a political machine that was for people like Hillary Clinton, and they were far more moderate than obviously literal democratic socialists, obviously. But Bernie Sanders' campaign left a lasting mark, okay? When people saw Bernie lose, they forgot about the movement that he created. It wasn't about him. Remember, not me, us. I feel like lots of people forgot about not me, us. It was literally not me, us, right? Actually, that's how they ran the campaign. In 2016, they left a lasting mark across the country that got a lot of people politically motivated. This cycle in 2020, that was the actualization of that mobilization. All right, that turned mobilization into actual action. Right, and this time actual action was done. Bernie won the Nevada caucus, and now the Democratic Socialists, from that wave that he created, were able to ride that into actual power, real power. All right, when people tell you that these people are doing nothing, they can't do anything, the lefties, they're not doing it, point them to people like this, the DSA. Right here, they're actually making real movements. This is no small feat to knock off every single piece of party leadership within a state, or basically state, but county level Democratic Party. It is in no way, shape, or form a small thing. This is not a small act, period. Right? They were able to actualize on the mobilization that Bernie Sanders and they were able to make over and over again to win more and more people over until they swept. They were fighting against a corrupted, entrenched political machine. The last Democratic party leader in Nevada, what he did was to make sure that that Nevada had the first caucus in the West, right? So the main reason why he did that was so that lots of politicians, especially when they're running for president, would take a stand on nuclear waste. Now, if you don't know, nuclear waste is a really big problem in Nevada, because Nevada is just a bunch of open, shitty land. That's prime for the dumping. All right, massive dumps, huge, thick radioactive dumps are slated to happen in Nevada, because lots of people who are pushing for nuclear waste, they forget the whole thing with nuclear waste. With nuclear power plants is that you have nuclear waste, and it has to go somewhere. Our rockets aren't good enough to shoot it out into space and into the sun, right? More likely than not, if we put a bunch of nuclear waste on a rocket, it'll explode and sprinkle cute little radioactive dust all across Earth. That won't be cool. That's not sick, epic, nor is it pog. Cancer is not pog. That's just me personally. Now, you all may fall differently on the cancer is and is not pog spectrum, but I'm firmly in the is not pog section of what is cancer. That's just me, okay? That's a personal opinion. So it has to go somewhere. Bury it. That's really what we've been thinking, and we've been thinking Nevada is like a great place to bury it. Because in between Reno and Las Vegas, there's just about nothing besides, Native American reserves, but they don't really care about those too much. We do, but they don't. And they want to make sure that people took a hard stand on no to dropping nuclear waste in Nevada. Now, with all of that movement and all of these sorts of systems put together to sort of make Nevada a really big bellwether when it comes to progressive politicians, Bernie acted on that and was able to activate a lot of Latino voters to come to be a lot more open to his campaign. And then the DSA worked on that to actualize them into a real movement in the state to win over voters, to be a part of the Democratic Party about that's around real power and party movement, right? And the thing is, over and over again, with these moderates talking about, we need civility, we need unity, we need to make sure that we're united. And these filthy progressives keep dividing our party and making us horrible and divided, and we're gonna lose against Donald Trump and the Republicans. Only if we would unite around all of our politics and make sure that we give them nothing would we be moving forward a single moderate tier. And the second that they lose, what do? Do they come around unity? Oh, the voters decided, let's come around unity and make sure that we're moving forward in a great way. What do? Not fucking gone, okay? They knew that they were going to lose. They took all their cash and they booked it. That's what they did. They didn't care about unity. They pretended to. It was always a game to them, because unity on their grounds, period. Nothing to do with progressives. Nothing to do with the working class. Nothing to do with socialists, definitely. Nothing to do with any of them. They wanted their way, and if they didn't get it, they were gone. They were just gone. So now there's no need for like any sort of outside party unity, because everybody who's moderate, they just picked up their fucking bags and left. Now they can just work on actually making work and doing good things for the people of Nevada, and on a bigger stance, making things happen for the people of the country and the world. Despite the pushback, Whitmer ultimately won her re-election. So here's the thing. Whitmer was facing massive pushback from party leadership. So look at this crazy ass name, dude. Segerblom, who supported Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020 and chaired his state campaign, confirmed that Cortez Masto approached him about running. So Masto, who's the senator, what she did was she was working behind the scenes trying to pull strings to make it so that Whitmer didn't win, because they hate DSA. They want to make sure Whitmer didn't win. So they were working with this guy who was working with Bernie Sanders to head them off, to make sure that they didn't win. Basically, what she was doing was making sure that they could split the progressive vote so the moderate would just win, period. Thankfully, this guy didn't fall for it, and that didn't happen, making sure that Whitmer can ultimately take the prize. He sees the current fallout of the unfortunate culmination of a back and forth that he sees happening in 2016. There's been a lot of disagreement within the party in 2016, he told The Intercept, in the situation where Bernie's team won and the old guard to speak were not going to stick around. They weren't even going to be a part of it. Despite the pushback, Whitmer ultimately won the election, in which the state's party governing members voted. In the certified election results, she received 244 to Segerblom's 214. A good win, actually. Jacob Allen won the first vice chair by 101 votes. Zafar on Whitmer's progressive slate was reelected to the second vice chair with 127 votes. And Ahmad Ade, I think is how I may pronounce this guy's name, won by 39 votes. And Howard Beckerman won by 3 votes. The treasurership by 3 votes. Every single vote matters. Don't ever take a single vote for granted. That guy won with just 3 votes, period. This is amazing news, all right? And this gives you another piece of information to show that working on a city level or a state level even is a great way to have progressives and socialists unify around a single cause and be able to make genuine change within their communities, all right? We don't need the massive sensational sort of presidency or senator necessarily at the moment, right? Because the real change happens at the ground level, and making it so that these politicians, all right, in the Senate, in the presidency, in the House, actually make these decisions and find them more palatable. Remember, these politicians are not your friends, and these politicians are not activists, all right? They are not trailblazers. They are not leaders. The first and foremost, what they are most concerned about is winning their seat again. You can affect massive change by knocking on doors, by organizing people, by going to protest, by donating, by organizing. Lots of this work may feel like little thing, like really small amount, but every small amount that's of your work that you do culminates with the small work from everyone else into a movement that can change lives for the better, that can save lives. Because that's what we're doing here, right? We're progressives, I would like to imagine at the very least. We can save lives. We can help people. And it all starts with you. You see yourself? I'm pointing at you. If you think I'm not pointing at you, I am. All right? I know you think I'm not pointing at you. If you think I'm not pointing at you, that means I'm definitely pointing at you. It starts with you. Go organize. Go talk to some people. Go get involved in your community. All right? You can make the change that you want. Do you have a problem with transportation? A problem with healthcare? A problem with homelessness? Right? A problem with housing? A problem with the environment? Lots of these problems. Go to your city council. Go to your state legislature. Talk to them. Organize. This isn't a fairy tale, all right? This story that I just told you about with the Democratic DSA sounds fake, right? Sound like a socialist Onion article that they quit. They quit after every single socialist-backed candidate won. This isn't something that just happens in Nevada, all right? It can happen in your state. I have no clue where your state is. That's a joke. I know where all of you are, all right? When you followed me, I can see everyone, okay? Hey, Haley. What's up, Zach? All right? I see you. Don't worry about it. And Kevin, I definitely see you. All of you, all right? Travis, yep, Travis, you too. I can see all of you. You can make the change. You can do it. This isn't a fairy tale. This isn't dreamland. This actually happened in this country, and you can make it happen too. You just have to put the work in. The power is there to be taken, and it's time to take it. It's time to make this country better, okay? Bernie showed us the way. It's time to take that torch, and let's light some fires, but not real fires because I'm against political violence.